4, 3, 2, 1.
International superstar, Miss Butter B. Rocker!
You are now tuned in to Butter B Rocker on Transparency Talks Podcast.
Welcome to another episode of Transparency Talks Podcast. I am your girl, Butter B Rocker. Listen, we have an amazing show for you today. I'm super thrilled to bring on this gentleman. He is one of my friends. He is a recording artist. He's a producer. He's an actor. There's nothing that this man doesn't do. His name is Terrill Paul. How are you?
What's going on, Butter, man? It's been a long time, man. How you been?
I have been good. It is great seeing you. And it has been a long time. It's been too long, actually.
Actually, it has.
So can you give everybody a little bit of background about yourself?
Yes, like she said, my name is Terrill Paul. I'm from Trenton, New Jersey, just a small little, it's the capital of New Jersey, but it's only 7.5 square miles. And, you know, Trenton is one of those places, pretty much all the hood, man. And if you can make it in Trenton, you can pretty much make it anywhere. And I got my roots and, you know, I started in church, like pretty much all of us started in church. And I knew that I wanted to be a singer a long, long time ago. My mother took me to 2 concerts, which was New Edition and the Jackson 5. And I've had a chance to meet Michael Jackson personally, and I worked with Tito Jackson, and then I'm currently working with Bobby Brown from New Edition. So she kind of put that in my spirit, you know?
Okay. So, okay, we're going to go back. We're going to go back to your roots some more. Okay. So you grew up singing in the church.
Mm-hmm.
At what age did you start singing? And then when did you say, you know what, I want to do this as a profession?
So, you know, the youth choir, you know, I was wanted to be in the youth choir and wanted to be one of those tenors. And that's when choirs was the altos and the sopranos was battling each other. And I wanted to be a tenor and singing when your mouth was way open like this, trying to sing. But the music just became, I guess it was kind of therapeutic for me, even at a young age. I didn't, you know, it took me out of the hood. It took me out of what I was seeing on a normal daily basis, and you know, walking to school and seeing the activities that was happening around me, and then in my inner circle as well. So music just took me so my mantra is music can take you 3 minutes, take you away 3 minutes at a time.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so you are not only a singer, but you're also a producer, you're a writer. Like I said, you got many hats. You had the pleasure of writing for one of Wyclef Jean's artists, City High. How did that happen? Because, you know, those are not normal things. You saying, yeah, you know, I work with Bobby Brown. That's not normal. So let's talk about it.
Well, see, again, Robbie Partlow is one of the members of the group City High. And his parents took a liking to me, and they pretty much kind of adopted me. And this was pre-City High, and they adopted me, and I ended up moving to Willingboro, New Jersey, and living with Robbie and his parents, and they kind of shaped and molded my career as well, getting into the acting. And then Robbie found himself in a position of getting with City High, and so I was able to be around and pen some stuff.
Okay. All right. So what do you like more? Producing, writing, or singing?
I like singing. It's just something about being out there in front of the folk and just performing and just seeing their faces. I mean, a lot of people don't know we're in the customer service business. So, you know, I like to just have those smiles on people's faces.
Yeah, definitely. We had the pleasure of performing sometimes together, and it was definitely fun because you are a true entertainer. So it was really cool to be on stage with you.
You are a true entertainer.
Thank you. Okay, so what I want to talk about, COVID. A lot of stuff has happened right now with COVID. Of course, we know the negatives that has happened due to COVID, people losing their lives and stuff like that. I want to talk about how it made you have to shift your mind and what did you have to do to sustain? Because as you know, our industry was hit very hard, and this is our bread and butter.
Absolutely. I was living in LA at the time in Burbank, and it really hit home when anybody who's ever been to LA know that it's constant movement, constant movement. And one day, my wife and I just was out having coffee on the front porch, and there was just no movement. I mean, not one car going up down the street, and we live in a busy area. And right then and there, I said, "How am I going to sustain? How am I going to make money?" So a couple of film producers hit me up, and I started doing some films during the pandemic. I don't know if we should have been doing that, but we did a few films, and they're actually are now starting to hit the scene now, which is one film was called John Wynn's Mirror Mirror, which I play Pastor Paul on, which is on Tubi now. Yeah, if y'all can go check that out. I also did a film called Pride, which I'm the star in, which Worth is actually one of the lead songs on the film. So I found different ways, and I reinvented myself. I just started reaching out to different artists and networking. If you need a hook from me, if you need a hook, I'll get it back to you. Whatever, how we want to work it out. So yeah, we just had to figure out different ways, but it was a rough spot.
Indeed, indeed. So to piggyback off what you were just talking about, you got into acting more, which I did too. I actually wrote and directed and produced my first feature film that's about to come out.
Uh-oh.
Throw that out there. But you was on Mirror Mirror that you said is now on Tubi. Now, was this your first acting project?
It's my freshman project, and my first audition ever, and I wrote my own lines.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is rare because that's not usually how it works to get in. So that's a really good thing if you was able to have that control and be able to write your lines in there.
And we had a brilliant cast. We had Ernest Thomas, Vincent M. Ward, we had Noel G. I mean, the list goes on. Judy Evans, Tom Sizemore.
I'm definitely going to have to check out Mirror Mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know that it is a different shift going from music to acting.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell how it is for you?
That's a great question, Butter. As singers, when we're shooting videos or whatever, we pretty much, we know exactly the temperature. We know exactly how to feel or how not to feel or what goes right. With filming, I'm learning that certain lenses it works well with you, and how to deliver lines. Especially sometimes you got to deliver lines and the person is not even in front of you. It's a different transition, but I like the work, so I'm hoping to do more, and hoping that you guys will see more from me in that.
Okay. So you had mentioned that you work with Bobby Brown. How
Mm-hmm.
did you get on with Bobby Brown? Because a lot of artists are a lot of people that's trying to get into the scene. They don't know where to start. So before you go into Bobby Brown, how do people get into the industry?
Honestly, that's a question that it's such a broad question
It
because
is.
Some people get in just by just walking in. They just walk up to a person. Some people just stumbled. For me, which is one of these cases, I was living in Atlanta at the time, and I was working at Home Depot, and I was going around working, and I was singing. And then one of my coworkers was like, "Man, you sound really good." He said, "My wife does auditions at the time it was called Heads of State, which is Bobby Brown, Johnny Gill, and Ralph Tresvant." And they was like, "You should go try out for it." So I said, "Hey, why not? I'll go try out for it." And I went. Funny story. I went, and there was Ralph and Johnny was already in the rehearsal hall over at Marvin Industries. If y'all know
Right.
Marvin out there. They were in there rehearsing, and they already had two background singers in there. So I walked in, and they was like, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm Terrill Paul. Came to audition." They're like, "Well, we already got everybody what we need." I was like, "Okay, all right, cool." So I'm walking out. The two background singers that they had was Ryan Toby at the time, one of the guys from City High, and the guy named Tim Campbell, who Tim Campbell becomes Paul Campbell later on down the line. So I'm leaving, and as I walk out the door, my shoulder hits Bobby's shoulder, and he looks me up and down with this look, and I look him up and down. He says, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm Terrill Paul." I said, "Obviously, I know who you are." He said, "What you here for?" I said, "I came to audition to be a background singer." And I was told that they already had it all. He said, "How many background singers back there?" I said, "Two." He said, "Two background singers." He said, "Johnny Gill, Ralph Tresvant. They got two background singers." He's like, "Well, where's my background singer at?" So I said, "I don't know, man." So he gave me his number. He took mine. He said, "I'm going to call you." I left, didn't think he would call me, whatever the case may be. I'm not 10 minutes up the street. He calls me. He said, "I don't know you, but I got a great feeling about you. We have rehearsal tomorrow. Be here tomorrow at 10 o'clock. But I was there at 8. I was there at 8.
Yes.
And Johnny and Ralph saw me again. Was like, "Well, what are you doing here?" I said, "Bobby told me to come." They was like, "Well, you wait on him." So Bobby gets there, I walk in. And they was like, "Well, Bob, it was a Wednesday." It was like, "Bob, have you even heard him sing?" He said, "No, we about to hear him sing right now." So I sang. I think they stopped me within 30 seconds. And Bob was like, "Well, he's in." They was like, "Well, he got to learn the steps. The show is Saturday. The day is Wednesday." He said, "That's why we rehearsing today then." And I've been there 13 years.
Honestly, I never knew how you got in, but that's an incredible story.
Yep.
That's
That's
a
how it
really
happened.
good story. Okay. So you have appeared on The Tonight Show, The View, The Wendy Williams. I mean, you've appeared on so many things. What has been your most memorable performance, and with who?
My most memorable performance was probably the Today Show. I remember it well because it was in New York and it was cold. It was cold out there, and we had to try to really. And today's show is shot in the morning. And a lot of people don't know that. So you ain't really got that voice just yet. So, but we were able to pull it off, and Bobby had an amazing show, and I think that was one of my most memorable moments, knowing how we all stuck together and how we made that show for him go well.
That's cool.
Yep.
What do you feel is missing in the music industry today?
Substance. I feel like we're getting lazy on the writing. We need to paint the picture again. The canvas is blank, and you can make the canvas be whatever it is. I just think we need to dive back into some real artistry, some real writing, some real singing. It comes from a place, and I understand that certain artists don't have that, but we need to embrace that more. Some of the younger artists need to pay attention to the people that came before them. I'm always paying homage to whoever comes in before me because they set the tone, and I just think get into your craft a little more. Just don't just settle for anything that goes in and put it out.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that today's industry is more based off of what's current? That they're not really looking at the longevity of how the old school artists are getting booked the most because they have substance in their songs, and they have stagemanship, and I mean they really bring it.
Yep.
And in today's industry, everybody's trying to sound like the next artist that's out there. That's my opinion of it. But what's your opinion of how does one stand out amongst the crowd?
Well, you pretty much nailed it. I mean, do you stop doing what everyone else is doing? Come up with your signature sound, come up with something that works for you. And the industry is really flaky to me because they're signing cats off of just silly stuff. How many followers they have, and what's the craziest things that they're doing out there, instead of just really finding the people that got the talent, that have that longevity in them, that can actually bring something to the label. But silliness seems to be winning right now, so I don't know.
Do you think social media is a gift or a curse, or you think it's a little bit of both?
It's a little bit of both, because anybody can put a song out now, and like you said, it's just all who's listening. And a song could come out tomorrow, and they got 10 million streams on it, and the song is not talking about anything. So it's definitely a gift and a curse, and it works both well. I mean, for artists like ourselves too, we get to promote our music, and we get to, do the same thing that they're doing. But I think A&Rs should look for artists outside of the social media platform.
I do too. And I don't think it should be based off of what your numbers are. I think it should be based off of what you're really bringing to the table. What type of talents, what type of songs, how is your stage, the whole can they sustain past this one song, type of thing.
Because you and I come from that era. We get on that stage, we gonna beat you down.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is, we gonna get you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about your new single, Worth It.
Yes.
What inspired you to record it? How did you come up with the title? I heard it and I was like, okay. I really like it.
So in any relationship, you're gonna be hurt, you're gonna be mad, you're gonna be disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
But who would you rather do it with?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody thinks the grass is greener on the other side until you get on the other side and find out it's a lot greener over there.
Preach.
You know what I'm saying? So that was the moral of the song. And it, most of the songs I talk about is my wife. She's heavily driven in everything I do. I want to give a shout out to Sean Trey Music. She helps inspire that record. It's out of Atlanta as well. But yeah, I'm a crooner. I'm a lover, and that's what you're gonna see from me.
Mm-hmm. Now you're compared, your song and your voice is compared to David Ruffin, Marvin Gaye, Bobby Womack. Does that give you pressure to deliver?
Of course it does. I mean, there was so many big shoes to fill. But one thing I've learned, that I don't have to fill those shoes. They'd already done that. Mm-hmm. What I have to do is just start filling up my shoes and just paying homage to them. And if I'm referenced to that, then that's a blessing. So I take it any way I can.
Yeah. Okay. Fun fact: do you like singing to live bands or tracks?
Live bands.
Yeah, all day.
All day long.
All day. Okay, so you had the pleasure back in the day, you was working in a vocal group with the super producer Vincent Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that experience, because that's major. Vincent Herbert, for people who don't know, which everyone should know, is a producer that worked on from Toni Braxton, Aaliyah, Destiny's Child, Dream. I mean, everybody. So how was it working with him?
It was awesome. It was awesome. Oftentimes we would get in rehearsal and our mouth was just dropped. But, we had members in the group, Robbie Partlow, that I just spoke about. One of my good friends I grew up with, Showtime Brooks. He was in the group. Myself, and we had this white boy in the group, man, and it was crazy. And we were working towards the goal, and then Vincent ended up going down to Baltimore, and he saw this group jumping around, and that was Drew Hill, and that's how that happened.
He could have had y'all jumping around too, but I guess he was like, well, they already done and ready. Maybe,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So people see the glitz and glam, of this industry. They see us on these stages and they have no clue about the sacrifice that it takes when you are out there on the road. You see us in these hotels, but you have no clue. Can you give a little insight and be very transparent on the rough stuff, the rough side of this industry?
Absolutely. That's a great question, brother. I often tell people all the time that just because y'all see us in this city, we don't get a chance to see the city at all.
At all.
We don't get a chance to know the people. It's either we fly in or we pulling in on a bus. And once we get there, we check in our hotels, and then we're going to sound check. And then after sound check, we may grab a little bit to eat, but then we got to get ready for the show. And after the show, we may have a little libation after that, but we back on the bus or the plane. It's constantly like that every show. People think, oh man, y'all just having a ball. I mean, we having a ball on stage. But other than that, it's work, guys. This is really, really hard work. It's not that easy.
Yeah. And I want to add to that, they don't even see the rehearsals before you even get ready before you even do the show, the long hours in rehearsal.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Vocal lessons. I mean, it's so much that goes behind it that y'all have no clue. The choreography. Like, to
Sheesh.
put on a show, you got to work.
The time away from your home, from your
Yep.
wife or your husband and your kids.
Yep.
It's a sacrifice.
It is. It is.
Yep.
And we've both been overseas, and you are right. It is a true sacrifice.
Yep.
And everybody only sees that part, and they have no clue all of the stuff that you have to sacrifice to get there. But it's
Absolutely.
worth it, though.
It is worth it. I
It
like
is
that.
worth it. I love being on the road. I got a question for you. So
Mhm.
I think that a lot of people are in the music business, but they don't understand the business of music. What's your opinion on that?
So the reason that a lot of people are in the business but don't know the business because they're so quick to sign something. They're so quick to be under somebody's paperwork, this, that, and third.
Right.
I've been in this game for a very, very long time, and I am just now getting to the point where I'm starting to benefit and see the results of my hard work. Because I myself had signed some paperwork back in the day that didn't turn out to be what it is. So my thing is, if you really want to be in this business, I suggest that you learn the game, learn as much as you can. And if you don't know it all, ask somebody. They have attorneys out there. They got people out there that you can consult with so that you don't be signing your life away, so that you will make a coin at some point in your life, because a lot of people, they're taking your likeness, they're taking everything. So and they're just dangling hotels and food and clothes over you, so you think you made it. Mm-mm. Do your homework, guys. Do your homework. Trust me, it's coming from a real place with me.
And to be honest with you, the dangling, the hotels, we'll pay for your hotel, we'll pay for your food. That's supposed to be happening anyway. So
Absolutely.
you're not dangling something that's not supposed to happen. So it's a little weird. But some people find that as a big attraction,
Mhm.
when they're trying to get somebody booked. Or what do you think about when people say, you're doing this for the exposure?
There are some things that I would agree to,
Mm-hmm.
as for the exposure. Um, for instance, a lot of people don't know that the Super Bowl show, they didn't get paid for that.
Right.
That was for the exposure, but that's on a bigger scale. But I just use that for an example. Some things you have to do to get your name and yourself out there, but not everything.
Mm-hmm.
You've already been exposed, so it's time for you to start, getting your just due.
Mm-hmm. But how does a band or artist that, is just now starting out
Mhm.
and they're ready to take it to another level, and start to ask for prices, you know, demand what they're worth and stuff like that. How do you cross that line? Because sometimes as an artist, when you're first starting, you are scared to, you know, you just want to be on stage, but at some point you got to start getting paid. So how do you approach that?
Well, the way I think I would approach it is after I've have had enough shows under my belt, and the live show is hitting pretty well, and I've gotten copies of the shows out to different promoters and in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would definitely throw a number out there. Now the number has to be fair on both ends. You can't just jump out there and say I need $10,000 or whatever the case may be, but you can start off, hey, we need hotel and room and board, we need per diem. You can start off in that way, and then as you grow and as you grow the audience, then you can start asking for a little bit more. That's how I see it.
That's good advice. Definitely good advice. All right. Well, we trying to educate people right now and let them know the real of getting into this business, and who better else to tell it than you, because you have been in the industry for a very long time on all levels of it. So I'm glad that you are here giving everybody this advice. So what would you tell your 25-year-old self?
What would I tell my 25-year-old self? I would say pay attention more.
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention more and be slow to speak. Sometimes when we're talking too much, we don't hear what's going on around us. So that's what I would tell my slow to speak and pay attention.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really good advice. So my question to you, because we rolling through my little questions, Jesus. My question to you is, what's next for you?
So I have another single that's going to be dropping here shortly called Heaven Sent. Can't wait for you guys to hear that. The movie Pride is actually in film festivals right now, and I'm also working with the label that I'm not going to disclose that yet until we are all the way complete with the paperwork, and so maybe you will have me back on, and then we could be able to talk about that.
Absolutely.
Is that cool?
Yeah, that's definitely cool. So you are an indie artist, correct? Do you think that indie artists are on a level playing field now, that we're able to get our own stuff out?
Yes, way more than it used to be. Indie artists is out there making noise. I mean, it's kind of labels is very, I mean, I see the change is happening again, though. I see the music shift is happening. So I see labels are starting to get back involved again. But that's because the indie artists have done their job. They have really let them know that they didn't need the middleman. So I'm proud of independent artists. I'm one of them. You are one of them. And we've done pretty well for ourselves, I would say. So if we had an engine behind us, though, whew. So I applaud indie artists. I applaud them.
Yeah, I definitely do too. I do. So who are you listening to right now? What's in your ears?
But honestly, that question is really a question that I probably don't know the answer to, because I've been so focused on what I need to do and writing. Sometimes I kind of blot out what's happening around me because I just don't want to take in what they're giving. Sometimes it's just that way, but you know, I'm an Usher fan. I love Usher. You know what I mean? I love Chris Brown. I listen to me. I love you, Butter.
Thank you.
But yeah, I just try to stay focused with what I'm doing, and that's nothing against any artists out there, but I'm sure they understand what I mean.
We do. What is your writing process? For me, I used to just in the middle of the night or whenever just start writing, and I would hear the melody in my head. But then sometimes I noticed lately I'm inspired more once I hear a track.
So yes, I have to hear the music. I have to hear the music, and what I do is I would just play the music and I have it on loop, and I don't force anything. There
Yeah.
a lot of times I'll wake up out of my sleep and I'll have the lyrics already in my head. So I don't force anything. I just kind of sit with it, and if it takes too long, then maybe that's not the song.
Mm-hmm.
So normally it strikes me just like that. Once I hear it, it's like boom. So that's my process, and then my process of recording. I get a good hook in. Once I get the good hook in, and I can pretty much paint the picture from there.
Mm-hmm. You also produce, correct?
That's right.
Okay, so I produce as well, but I only produce to get my idea out of my head.
Hmm.
I have actually sold some of my tracks, but that's not my thing. It's
Okay.
easier for me to write and come up with the melody, sing it, and do what I need to do. It's a whole different beast having to produce the track as well.
It's totally different from writing lyrics. Um, Again, it's like I start off with the rhythm in my head, and I play. So whatever the melodies that come out, I play, and then it takes a process for me. I'll loop that, and then I have to hear the drum patterns and whatever else. So I'll leave the skeleton, and then once I start to put vocals around it, then I can know what other instruments I need to go into the song. So basically, I come up with the shell of it. Then I come up with the melody of with the lyrics and song, and then I finish it from there. But it is a little more difficult than just sitting down writing a record.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Ironically, I come up with the beat last when I'm producing
Really?
the track. And it's the weird, I hear the beat in my head, but I come up with the beat last. I start with keys. Always I start with
Yep.
keys first. And then the beat is last. I think that's backwards. I don't know.
We're going to collaborate on something.
We should have been done that, but we
We
can
should have.
absolutely make that happen. We can make it happen.
Okay.
Okay, so I would like to thank you so much for being a part of Transparency Talks podcast. How can people book you?
So you can book me at Oho Entertainment. That's OLHO Entertainment. There's my manager Stephen Littles. He's taking all bookings right now. My social media is Terrill Paul on all social media platforms. You can find me there. But yeah, we are ready to go. If you want somebody to come up there and give you some good energy, I'm your guy.
Definitely, you definitely the guy. I think definitely is my word for the day because I swear I didn't said it like a 12 times.
Yeah.
With your performances and everything, are you and which you're already going out, with Bobby Brown and a couple of other people, but you are doing your own shows as well, correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes,
So
I
do
am.
you have any upcoming shows that people can come out to?
I have a show coming up April 16th. It's in Orlando, Florida. So you can check me out there. And as I said, Steve and I are booking now. So they're coming in slowly, but I'm getting myself out there. They're starting to really realize who I am now. So yeah, I feel like they're going to see me on the stage real soon near them.
Absolutely. It's not that they're coming in slow. It's because of COVID. I'm blaming anything. Anytime our bookings are slow now, it's because of COVID.
It's COVID. It's COVID.
It's COVID.
It's COVID.
Because things have gotten a little slower. They're picking up more of the bookings for the majors are picking up a lot quicker than I've noticed for the indies right now.
Right.
Or I can say that's my experience. So it might not be yours, but that's definitely mine right now because I was touring, and now it's slow.
I'm surprised you're not in like some other country right now somewhere. You normally are gone.
I am usually gone, but because since COVID, 2019, I injured myself, torn meniscus, torn ACL, and I dislocated my shoulder. and I was out for a full year. Then 2020, I got released in April, but March is when the world shut down.
That's
And I
right.
had all of these shows and places I was supposed to go, and then it got, just canceled. And now I've been getting calls for overseas because that is primarily where I would be.
Yep.
I've been getting the phone calls, but the contracts are crazy. They want me to stay over there longer than normal. It's not making sense for me to do right now, so I gotta wait.
Well, I see something in the near future. We'll probably be on the same stage at some time coming
We
up.
need to definitely get back to that stage.
That'll be real fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. Well, thank you so much for being a part of Transparency Talks podcast. I truly appreciate you. And make sure you guys go and book him. He is an awesome entertainer. I don't like to just say artist, because artist, anybody can sing. It's that
Right.
entertainer in you.
There you
He's
go.
an awesome entertainer. So thank you so much, Terrill.
Thanks for having me, man. Really appreciate this. And don't forget, go get that song Worth It. Trust me, it's worth it.
It is worth it. Where can people find it?
Right now, is all social media platforms, is everywhere.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, with that being said, everybody, we are out of here. We'll talk to you guys later.
All right, brother. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.